Good morning, everybody. So there's a video that we are doing on our way to Lillooet. You probably would have seen if you'd come from that one. This is weird, actually doing two videos doing the same job, but we sort of zoomed through super fast doing the brakes on this. But for those of you that didn't, I was just here to see how to do the rear brakes. This is just the brakes. This is not the parking assembly, just the rear brakes, calipers and rotors on a 2007 Dodge Caravan, Grand Caravan. What I noticed yesterday, we were taking some lambs out to Lee Creek in BC there. So we had a ram in here, and then we swapped out and put another ram in our little lamb hauler there. We were getting a grinding noise from the rear end. I inspected the outside pads. We actually had about 2 mils left on it, but the inside pad, there isn't really an inspection window to check. But what I could see looked like there was no pad material left, and we were grinding the rotors. So, because we live so far out of town, what the plan was just to buy rotors and pads for the rear end. I still have to add a parking brake cable in the drivers. The previous owners have removed it, I suspect, because they broke it because possibly the cables had seized. So what we're just doing today is just getting the pads so that driving down the road we have good brakes. The fronts were done on this van, I believe this spring. I'd have to check the records, but not important. So we're just doing the rears today. Just because one rotor was gone on the other side and one pad set was gone. This one's probably not far behind, and I did say to Carrie that the next time we do rotors on the or brakes on the rear end, we should replace everything. I could mic them and check them, but we've been running this van for 3 years on the same rotors in the back, and I do know it's time to just swap them out. So without further ado, we'll break this thing apart, get the wheels off, check it all out. It's fairly easy, I think. I say that now, and then we'll run into a problem. So what I got here is I think it's a 19 mil socket. Okay, let's set this down and see what's going on there. It's a little too tight, I don't know why. Oh, that shouldn't be that tight. Holy shit, let's hope that's not cross-threaded, otherwise that screws my day up. Oh yeah, that rear one's only got a few millimeters left. Let's get the right tool in there. That's got it. That's the one. Torx 45 for the back of these. You've got to be kidding me. Okay. So there's a change of plans. I have to try and get this axle to droop down to get my tools out. I need about 1 inch. So I gotta jack this fucking thing up, put a jack stand underneath the front, and then let the suspension drop because I got no room. So part of the problem is my jack stands are on my truck project, so this is what we're looking for. Cleared. There, now we got lots of room. So I guess a little trick to this is to jack it up off the springs and let the axle droop so that you can get room to work in the backside. So we'll remember that. Not at all. Safety says you should have put a jack stand under here. I don't easily have one available. I got his tire shoved under there, and then I got a block on the other side. Not that that's helping us. Pop that slide pin out. Get this slide pin out. Okay, I think that rotor's pretty much done. That's bad. That definitely needed to be changed out earlier. Here's the new one. Here's a knife here. They look the same. And then, so on the disc brakes, your e-brake sits on the inside. I'll show you that out there. Here's your e-brake. So this separates just like on a drum, well, I guess off the bottom here. And then these two shoes here put pressure on the inside of that and that rotor and lock it down. Here's a caliper. And there's your shoes inside. So these are what puts the pressure on the squeezes. These two pieces here that we unscrewed are slide pins. It allows this rotor to, or this caliper to slide back and forth as you apply pressure. I just gotta go ahead and try and pull these pads or shoes out right now. Shoes, pads. Pads are on rotors, shoes are on drums. So those in there are shoes, and then what's on that is pads. So. That's what the old one looks like. That's the old one. That's the inside. So you can see that was wearing really funky. Here's your two comparatively. So this is your friction material. There's nothing left there. So this is what's going on. These are garbage. So the next thing we got to do is there's a piston inside. This piston, sort of the seal here, is a little bit torn. I'm not too keen on that, but there is a seal inside that stops the brake fluid from leaking out. So this piston here is what comes out and squeezes those together. It basically pushes this pad up and pushes this whole bracket down. But you see, this is not good. I'm gonna run this right now just because I'm not going to buy a new one right now. But there's another seal. This is just a solid piston. There's another seal down here keeping the brake fluid from squeezing past. But this piston here will need to be changed out pretty quick. But just to get us where we need to go today, we need to take care of that. Then you need to make sure these two pins here, they slide freely in and out. So we'll take those out and grease those up, because these are what everything slides on. You need these to move so that when you let off the brakes, this whole thing releases the grab on the rotor. So, and then yeah, these are your shoes. So we will use this kit here to press this back down, and we'll check for any leaks when we do that, because if we got any more leaks on this, we'll be taking that into town to buy one of these. So get to it here. We got to go up to the hood and open the brake fluid cap. We just want to pull this cap off your brake fluid reservoir off, so that when the fluid builds up, because as we press that piston, fluid's going to displace back into this reservoir. So take the cap off just in case she spurts up. Go check that front. You just gotta go check and make sure you're not overflowing, otherwise you siphon some out. Now's a good time to check your bearings way in here. There's no axle in here. This is literally all this is right here. So listening for anything that sounds like marbles or any play in that. It looks good. Those are the slide pins. They're looking okay. These pins, I'll just give them over right quick sandpaper here. Just take down any burrs that might have showed up. And then give a bit of a surface for the grease we put in. We got this brake grease here. And this is specifically for disc brake calipers. We'll put a bit of this inside these holes, so those pins move a little bit freer. Okay. Perfect. Oh yeah, much better. Yeah. If these are tight, your brakes will grab and they won't let go. So the next thing is we gotta clean this sucker up, which I need a rag, but hey, whatever. Hit it with brake clean just to take the shipping oil off. I mean, oh, you guys are getting a crappy camera. So now it's time to put the pads in. So they come with an inner pad and an outer pad. There is a left and a right to these with these springs on this outer pad. This has to do with the way that this applies pressure to the direction of travel for your primary, because you're always going forward, you're seldom going back. So there is a difference to this. The inner pad just has this clip, and that clip slides into the hole here, and on your piston. It's my first time doing this. Don't worry if it's your first time, it's all good. Two, these are springs that hold these little, so these springs here push these little tabs here into some holes on, and then this goes underneath. There's a bracket mounted on the frame there, or on the axle, so it all hooks in. Such as that. This is always fun to get on. This side doesn't look like it's on all the way. That's better. I'll slide that over, and then this pin goes under. Okay, now, so you can see this spring goes under, these are locked in, these ride on top of here, so we need to lube up this rail here, because this whole thing's going to slide. These pins are lubed up, we just got to start those, and then get to put the wheel on. What I use is just ultra disc brake lube. I'm starting to run low, so I'll see if something new uses, but I just get this at Lordco or Princess Auto or Canadian Tire or wherever. You need to make sure that these are free to slide, as low friction as you can. It's not so much for the application of the brakes as it is for the release. You want to make sure that these will release. Otherwise, if this starts to get too much heat, your rotor will warp and you'll get a vibration going down the road. And then you'll start to get a pull. If one of these calipers starts to seize up more than another one, you'll get a pull from one side to the other when you brake. Do not get this onto this rotor. Okay, so for the most part, that is that. Let's get these tightened down. And then just make sure, oh yeah, make sure it still spins. Be silly. There we go, okay. Now we're safe. If you want to step on the brakes, you can. Not a good idea, but you could. Not a good idea, but you could. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna mount the rim on. This is a magnesium alloy rim, not aluminum, but magnesium alloy. Some people call it aluminum, but what it is, it's high content magnesium. This is a steel rotor, or the brake rotor is steel. If you drive through a lot of water, live in a rust belt, live on the coast, what'll end up happening is two dissimilar metals always tend to rust weld themselves together. I have in the past sprayed like a never cease type stuff on here. If you don't do something, they'll rust weld on, and then you'll basically be destroying your rim trying to get it off. The other thing you can do is just make sure you are rotating your tires frequently. Well, every 3 or 4 months, take your tires off, rotate them around. Then you won't have any rust welding happening because you're constantly breaking up before that gets really bad. If you spray something onto the wheel mating surface here, what you do is you modify your torque for your lug nuts. And you'll definitely have to check them 3 or 4 or 6 different times before the wheels are tight, because anything you put between this surface and this surface modifies your torque values on your lug nuts. So I've done that before, but I basically tighten everything down all the time. For this vehicle here, we're not putting anything on it because I am pretty insane for rotating the tires on this thing. So and like I said, we have to pull this caliper off and replace it at some point in the next few months. So I'm gonna get this together here and then get onto the other side with everything we've learned from this side. That side will go faster. That was all the problems I ran into on that side. Those rotors definitely need to be changed. I'm gonna get this side. This is the side that I thought was worse than the left side. So everything we learned from that side there, hopefully that was the difficult side and this will be the easy side. What the heck? Oh no. We're getting started on this and I don't know if you can see it. New lug nuts, they got a stupid sleeve over top of the old ones. So you see that right there? There's what the cap looks like. They're stupid as hell. I'll probably go and buy a whole set of replacements that are don't have these stupid caps. But I just basically shoved a screwdriver in this end and just gave it a light tap and out it popped. But these things are the bane of most tire shops. Oh, they're so stupid, but you can upgrade and replace those. Probably can get this at almost any place, and you get lug nuts that are solid steel, not this cheap crap. I don't know why they did this. It's got to be some sort of cost saving measure. There's no reason why anybody would use these. But these are OEM factory parts, so I will go ahead and get back to work now that you see that. Fucking nightmare. That's so stupid. Scrap metal bin, nope. this one was down to metal, so that's where our grinding was coming from. Ooh. But this is the one you can see on the outside. So it's got quite a bit of it's got life left. I think they should make the inside a little bit thicker than the outside if they're gonna wear unevenly. But that's why we greased up everything, so hopefully they wear evenly again. And this is junk. Can't really use that with the way that's worn and chewed up. If you can drag your fingernail, you can catch any one of these grooves. Garbage, but just let me look at that. It's junk. Don't do what we gotta do. That's what they want. That's what they get. Oh, I might have a. Oh, good. I didn't over torque it. Alright, so that's done. Wheels are torqued. Brakes are done. We just now gotta start it, press the pedal a couple of times to set the pads. Roll forward, roll back, make sure no bind. Carrie's doing air pressure. We've torqued it. Throw this in the van and we'll just check it when we stop for gas. So you'll see. See, I'm actually doing it. And then the other thing you saw was wipe down and clean up your tools before you put them away, and then put them away. Don't do what I do and just throw them on the ground. At least clean them up. Makes next time you use them a little bit better with a bit of rain. Makes them so they don't rust. But I do believe we're ready, as soon as she's done airing up tires, to finish feeding and then load up. Who are we loading up? Squirrely, Luna, and Fetzo. And we're off to Lillooet. So right there should be a link to the video where we're doing that, because this is weird. I'm doing one video for doing the brakes, but at the same time we're having to fill in as we're going to there, so I don't know which video is coming. I'll probably the one when we go to there. So anyways, that's it for doing the brakes on that. Any questions, let us know. Torque values will be in the description, and again right here. And yeah, I guess there's a lot of work going on the Lamb van, market van, Ram van. We should be working on doing the body work on this and then getting this axle finished off here. I mean, it's looking good, but priority has to take for stuff we need right now. And since the downsize, which if you watch that video, we've downsized our sheep, using the truck as important. So what's that? You got it? Oh, the mice chewing the cord. Yeah. So we'll get to work on our truck here. No worries on that. I've only got a small window to finish getting the frame finished and painted, unless I pay a couple $100 to a sandblaster just to finish it off. This thing here just needs to be sanded and painted, and it sounds like my air compressor is stuck. So anyways, when it gets cold, it gets moody. So yeah, if this is part of the video you're watching, we'll see you in a minute while we're driving, loading, moving lambs. And if this is just the one to see how to do the brakes, if you got any questions, let us know. We can answer them. But until next time, later. Stupid compressor. It doesn't like the cold weather. I got to put an engine drive on my big compressor. So I've been looking for a small gas motor to throw. Oh, there we go. Yay. So that doesn't like the cold weather. Mine about 5 degrees, it starts to get a little bit snarky. But I have a bigger compressor sitting in the basement that I need to throw a gas motor on. So just a small, well, that's not gonna work because that's a vertical shaft. The shaft goes down. But if I can find a horizontal shaft with the shaft comes out the side, much like our water pump, wherever the heck that is. Anyways, I'm gonna throw that on my bigger compressor, and then it'll be a better off-grid compressor, because this right now is plugged in to the house and it either runs off the gen set or the inverter and the batteries, and that's kind of it's not good for draining down the batteries, because right now it's got a huge load on it. So we're going to build a better off-grid compressor, because we use air around here a lot.